Rudolph of Germany at the World Championships. But Rudolph couldn't make it. De La Hoya winds up without significant opposition here. Nevertheless, he comes to these championships with a great deal to prove. It's been said that all life is but an imitation of nature. And if that be true, how does one define Oscar De La Hoya, a unique athlete in the dichotomous world of contemporary sport? Whether plying his avocation, drawing his younger sister Ceci, or training at his vocation, the quest for the most coveted symbol in amateur athletics, an Olympic gold medal, Oscar is the living embodiment of the artist as a young man. Maybe it's no coincidence that Oscar De La Hoya grew up in the shadow of Hollywood and its stars. By all accounts, he's projected to emerge from this summer's Olympics in Barcelona as an amateur boxing superstar. The community of East Los Angeles is defined in the public mind by gang violence. Raised in this life of temptation, he is the role model for his peers. Wants to become an architect after dabbling in pro boxing. The people responsible for his career are Uncle Adrian, trainer Roberto, and parents Joel and Cecilia. Cecilia passed away 2 years ago, leaving her son with one wish.
She told me she wanted the gold medal. And so I'm going to get it for her. I'm going to do anything to get it for her. And that's what's really pushing me inside to do it, to get that gold medal. And next to that, I mean, of course, my father. He's always pushing me and telling me what to do and always wants the best for me. I mean, it's always my family. Family's always first for me.
Both Oscar's grandfather and his father once boxed. Following in the family tradition, Oscar first donned gloves and headgear at the age of 6. Through painstaking effort, Oscar De La Hoya has become one of the most feared amateur fighters in recent memory. The style, unmistakably professional, a devastating puncher. Undefeated for 5 years, Oscar seemed destined to continue that streak until the World Amateur Championships in Sydney, Australia last year. A fight against Germany's Marco Rudolph proved difficult, but not as difficult as the newly initiated computer scoring system.
The computerized scoring system is really tough. I really didn't understand how I could only get 1 point or 2 points in one round. And in other fights I could get 40 points. I really don't understand that.
Now fully aware that the only way to beat the computer is to clearly defeat your opponent, Oscar is determined to erase the one blemish on his record. He knows it may be necessary to dispense with professional skills for now and utilize amateur tactics, more combinations. After all, to fulfill his mother's wish, Oscar must first win back his identity tonight.
The World Challenge, it's more of a revenge to the computerized scoring system, to the judges, to the politics involved in amateur boxing. I'm going to be in my top condition to prove to the public that Oscar De La Hoya is #1.
And we bring you back live to Tampa now, where De La Hoya enters the ring against his opponent, 18-year-old Jose Martinez of Corozal, Puerto Rico. De La Hoya ranked second in the world in this weight class, 132 pounds. Martinez is the youngest boxer here at the challenge, the youngest competitor in this competition at 18 years old after having been brought in just in the past few days on very short notice. He is probably the most outclassed of all the boxers here as he gets ready to take on the very classy Oscar De La Hoya, who, as you heard in the feature piece, had not lost for years prior to his upset at the hands of Marco Rudolph of Germany in Sydney at the World Championships. Rudolph now ranks #1 in the weight class. De La Hoya ranks #2, but is still regarded by many as the favorite to win the gold medal in Barcelona. As you look at the tail of the tape, you will see that at 5 feet 11 inches tall, De La Hoya has a 4-inch height advantage here, a corresponding reach advantage. Well, actually, no, the reach winds up in Martinez's favor, but Oscar may wind up later on in his career as a professional welterweight or perhaps even a junior middleweight. Rules, Larry?
Here are the amateur rules. There will be 5 2-minute rounds. We'll get more into that as the night goes on. Usually, of course, there are 3 3-minute rounds. There is a standing 8 count. You cannot be saved by the bell. The referee or the doctor can stop a fight, and the fighter is disqualified after a 3rd warning. We'll get into the arcane meanings of warnings as the night goes along as well.
Right now, let's go up to ring announcer Mark Biro for the pre-fight introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful Tampa Convention Center for an evening of world-class boxing in the World Championships Challenge. Tonight's bouts are under the sanction of the USA Boxing and AIBA USA Boxing President Billy Dove, attending Executive Director Jim Fox. All bouts scored by 5 judges at ringside utilizing electronic computation. Ring officials assigned by the USA Boxing, AIBA, and the local Florida Association. Ringside physicians, USA Boxing Chief Physician Dr. Robert Boyd. Also, Dr. John Pleatinks and Dr. Frank Filiberto. Your timekeeper from the Magic City of Orlando, Florida, USA, Peter Bartlett. Counting for the knockdowns at the bell from Tampa, Florida, USA, Brian Gary. This is your first contest of the evening. It is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the 132-pound lightweight class. Judges at ringside, Hedy Bonab, Tunisia, David Leopold, Czechoslovakia, Bill Wackerly, USA, Agustin Zaragoza, Mexico, and Peanut Woon Sing Viset, Thailand. Your referee for this event from La República de Argentina, Osvaldo Bisbal. Introducing first, in the red corner to my left, from Puerto Rico, Jose Martinez. His opponent in the blue corner from the US of A, Oscar de la Hoya. 5 2-minute rounds.
Jim, there's an old saying in boxing that if you really want to get the result of a fight, just get some 10-year-old to watch it, and at the end of the fight, point to the guy he thinks win it. I'm going to judge fights that way tonight, and I'll let the guys with the computers judge it in their way.
Well, 10-year-olds play Nintendo better than anybody. Maybe they should be operating the scoring system, too.
Larry, I think your way might be a little better.
This fight, in all likelihood, will need no computer scoring system. It is the biggest on-paper mismatch at these championships.
But, Jim, you can't take anything for granted. Not when you bring your kids in like this here. Puerto Rico. He's one of the top amateurs from there. And he'll come out there fighting.
De La Hoya started slowly in Sydney against Marco Rudolph. So one of the things he will want to do here, particularly in the eyes of his coaches, is to establish himself early in the first round. If there was anything for which they criticized him after the loss in Sydney, it was that he just didn't get going in round number 1. As we watch the action in the ring, you will watch for a moment the action at the side of the ring. If you see a finger go down, it's because a punch was registered. There you see the blue button going down as that judge registers punches for Oscar De La Hoya, and Martinez goes down.
Too strong.
Yeah, Oscar's just a little too big for this young man.
Too strong, too big, too experienced.
This is a case where the 2-minute round can help Martinez to survive.
Incidentally, knockdowns count for nothing more than the punches which produced it. And now here is a standing 8 count. A third standing 8 count or knockdown count in the round would create the stoppage of the bout.
7, 8, box.
Or a fourth in the duration of the fight. 3 in 1 round or 4 in the fight means automatic referee stops contest. De La Hoya with a solid right hand, and Martinez backs up again. Another solid right, and De La Hoya bangs to the body 3 times with the left hand. Martinez simply unable to defend himself against the stronger Oscar De La Hoya. Referee looking at this one very carefully. You could see a referee stops contest. the corners with our interpreter, former world champion Carlos Palomino.
Todo el tiempo, mira, todo
All
el
the time.
tiempo,
Look.
moviéndote a los lados.
Move,
Si te
move,
encierras,
side to side.
Agájalo. No se puede, pero agájalo. Ponme el cubo, el otro cubo. Oíste, si te encierras, agájalo a él y te sale.
If he
No te dejes
pulls
pegar,
you
no te
in,
dejes pegar, si va-
tie him up.
Todo el tiempo
Tie him up
encima de ti.
inside.
Todo el tiempo encima de ti, siguiéndote, ¿bien? Échalo ahí. Mira,
Look,
tienes que moverte. No
you
te
have to
por
move.
abajo.
You have to move a lot.
Bien, sigue moviendo.
Okay, let's take a look at De La Hoya at work with a really professional style, throwing many hooks and just overwhelming Martinez, who is really not even a 132-pounder. He's a smaller man than that.
Now there is the accepted score after round one. That's the score that means something. That means that 14 times in the round, 3 judges pressed buttons registering punches for Oscar De La Hoya within 1 second of each other. Therefore, he was credited with 14 blows to 1 for Martinez. What are Oscar's greatest strengths, Lou, as you look forward to his continued career?
Oh, his discipline. He makes you fight his fight. He keeps right within range where he can slip a punch and still counter. He does it all, this guy.
How many 19-year-olds have you ever seen with this kind of talent?
Not too many. This guy here is going to be some fighter. Just
Left
the way he
hook to the
throws those
body.
hooks.
Yeah, the hook to the body is very impressive. Martinez with a little blood on the lower lip, getting a bit of a boxing lesson so far in both rounds 1 and 2 from Oscar De La Hoya of East Los Angeles. De La Hoya had expected to meet Marco Rudolph here. Rudolph was injured in training. The next expected opponent was Kirkar Kirkorov, world champion at 125 pounds, who was going to move up to 132 to take on De La Hoya. He couldn't make it either. Martinez is a last-minute replacement.
The way De La Hoya is looking tonight, he could have beat anybody tonight. He's really on target.
Well, he came here feeling as though he had a great deal to prove. With an amateur record of 215 wins and 5 losses, De La Hoya's loss to Marco Rudolph in Sydney was his first in years.
We watched 30 rounds of boxing last night and didn't see a single knockdown. We've already seen one here tonight.
That's right. We saw 1 standing 8 count in 30 rounds. And we've seen 2 8 counts in the first round here. But in fairness, Larry, all of those were more even matches on paper.
Yes, they were.
And you saw De La Hoya firing the right cross to punctuate round number 2.
Take a deep breath. Relax. Once you start your punches going, relax a little bit. You're tightening up and you're trying for power. Now stay there until they give you the ready side. Now relax. Relax. You can do anything you want, but you gotta do it nice and calm. Okay.
Calmado, calmado, calmado. Todo calmado. Work off the jab, Oscar, okay?
Okay.
Y calmadito, calmadito.
Now go out there, jab, and then after about
Here's De La Hoya at work again. A straight jab followed by a left. Lou, I like the 5-round format. It gives a young kid more of a chance to talk to his coach during the fight and perhaps change the course of a fight.
That's right, Larry. He'll come back. He'll get better instructions from his trainer. It gives him a little more rest. It makes him a better fighter, I think, the 5 2-minute rounds. We used to box this during the 40s and 50s. I'm glad they're bringing him back.
This is also an experiment by the Olympic Committee for the safety factor. So instead of getting 9 rounds of fighting with 2 1-minute rest periods, you get 10 rounds of fighting with 4 1-minute rest periods.
Incidentally, as if it weren't tough enough for the 18-year-old Martinez here against De La Hoya, we're told that he has fought most of his amateur career in Puerto Rico as a 125-pounder, featherweight, moving up to lightweight for this assignment. Between rounds, he was telling his coach in his corner that Oscar simply hits too hard for him.
That's right. And you can bet he was that he was boxing mostly junior Olympic fights too, with small kids, weak kids, not as strong as De La Hoya.
That's right. So you have to admire the courage of Jose Martinez for standing in there, but now he has taken an uppercut blow, which has him groggy once again. Referee Bisbal has not yet called for an 8 count, but Martinez is a little bit foot weary for the moment.
Stop! Box!
De La Hoya, at age 19, is already being compared to fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez and Alexis Arguello, his hero, and even the great Sugar Ray Robinson. The fluidity with which he throws the left hook, particularly to the body, reminds you of great fighters of the past.
He's got every move that a good professional champion would have right at this year's stage. And all he can do is get better and better.
Can he defend himself better?
Sure.
There's another standing 8 count as he pounds Martinez into the corner.
4, 5, 6, 7. At this point, I believe the fight should be stopped. Martinez has shown his courage. He's hung in there with a bigger, stronger kid. There's no point going on. He can't possibly win this fight unless there is a knockout, and there doesn't seem to be any chance of that.
Que no lo debiste haber cogido. Pon el cubo aquí, aquí dentro. Oíste, cogiste esos 2 palos a lo último que no te debiste haber cogido.
Gotta go side to side. Don't want to exchange punches with him.
Mira.
Look.
Vamos a pelear tranquilo, no te pongas a pelear.
Calm down.
Bien. Dame que el agua. Dame que el agua. ¿Ah?
You okay? You okay?
Hey,
Okay.
Hey.
Bótala. Oíste, José.
Here's De La Hoya inside, now throwing an uppercut, a very effective uppercut that staggered Martinez.
In all fairness to Martinez, he probably just got into being 17 years old. This kid here still got a lot of ways to go, and he's going to be a good prospect. I mean, he's fighting with a lot of heart against a strong De La Hoya out there, and he's trying. I mean, you can't take that away from him.
I hate to see a young kid like this take a beating. Beatings aren't good for fighters.
Particularly when you can see that he has talent.
I mean, the very fact that he would take this fight speaks to his nerve. You know, he says, sure, let me give it a crack on a few days' notice.
And he probably knew who De La Hoya was.
De La Hoya with another flurry drives Martinez back again. It is target practice, as Larry has pointed out. One more standing 8 count will produce automatic referee stops contest. There have been 3 8 counts so far in the bout, 2 standing and 1 for the knockdown. Left uppercut is enough to stop the contest.
It's at the discretion of the referee.
6, 7, 8, box, stop.
And that's the end. So Oscar De La Hoya gets his revenge against the scoring system. He makes it unnecessary. The lightweight division is one with a history of American success. Romalis Ellis won the gold in 1988 at Seoul. Pernell Whitaker won the gold in 1984 at Los Angeles. Howard Davis won it in 1976 at Montreal. Oscar De La Hoya will go to Barcelona as a co-favorite in the division with Marco Rudolph of Germany, formerly of East Germany, the man who vanquished him in the first round at the World Championships in Sydney and then went on to win the title.
Jim, Oscar was ready tonight, whether he fought Rudolph or anybody he fought tonight. I mean, he wanted revenge. He knew he didn't like that loss in Australia, and he got himself in good shape physically and mentally. He was ready.
And we'll take a look, Lou, at an early flurry by De La Hoya. Talk about his hand speed for us.
Look at the hand speed, but look at the way he throws those combinations. He'll switch from the body to the head, from the head to the body. Only a good fighter with talent can do those things.
And this is what brought about the end of the fight. The left uppercut followed by the solid right cross. Landing punches in bunches, as you point out, Lou, and of all descriptions.
Look at those uppercuts. Look at the way he's throwing those combinations and staying right within range, backing them up.
And now Larry Merchant stands by with the victorious Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, but first we're going to go to the ring announcer for the official particulars on the bout. So here's ring announcer Mark Biro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 39 seconds of the 4th round. Referee stops contest and awards the bout to the blue corner, Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya.
And let's take a look at the scoring in the bout. You will see that De La Hoya dominated the scoring. This will be the first chance for us to introduce, incidentally, the fact that in addition to the 5 judges' scores for the evening, and those are the individual scores, not the ones that compute to the accepted score on the computer, we'll also show you our CompuBox numbers. You're familiar with how that works in all of our professional fights. The big difference there is that in CompuBox scoring, one monitor scores each fighter, so they will see more connected blows than do the amateur judges from the International Federation. Now let's go to Larry Merchant with Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar, no matter how you computed that one, it was an easy victory. Do you feel now that you've avenged the computer, or does this one not really count?
No, I believe this one really does not count. I was waiting to box against Germany, the world champion. Why he's not world champion no more. And I was waiting for that, but I knew coming into this match it was going to be tough. Every match is tough, but I was really prepared. And the computerized scoring system, I mean, it's just going to be there. And but I'm gonna really try to break that computer with throwing a lot of punches and scoring blows.
How do you like the 5 2-minute rounds as opposed to the 3 3-minute rounds? What does that do for you or against you?
Psychologically, it changes the way I think. I'm thinking it's 3 minutes and 5 rounds, and that would be to my advantage because I could wear down my boxer the way I did tonight, and it's going to help me out.
What is your program now as we look ahead to the Olympics in 4 months?
My program now is box against Germany, hopefully the one I lost to in Australia. I'm really going to be prepared for that. I'm going to rest after that and go into the Olympic trials. And after that, the box off and hopefully the Olympics and take that gold medal there.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Jim?
All right, Larry.